You know, it's kind of what we've been doing in a lot of our ball games. We have really good possessions defensively to start the game, and offensively we had some good ones, we had some runouts. But then on the other end of the spectrum, we have really poor possessions. And for us to be a good team, we've got to eliminate a lot of these possessions on the side. You know, 10 or 12 offense and defensive possessions I thought were really good. And then we have the same probably number on the other end of the spectrum. If we can clean these up and cut them down, then I think we have a chance to have a ball club. But we had a lot of offensive possessions, more turnovers and assists tonight, a lot of defensive mistakes. You know, we get the game, we get 2 back-to-back threes, you know, you know, so those kind of things, you just can't have a good team. So, you know, and I told the guys that, you know, I think we're on our way, but we got to clean it up pretty quick. Arizona coming in here Thursday, because those bad possessions will bury us against them. You know, they're a vet team, and they've been through the wars, and Oregon State's a good team. Every time we, you know, first half there we had a pretty good lead, and as soon as we let down, you know, they came back, and that's a well-coached, make simple plays team, and you know, the rebounding until late was pretty tight, and I thought they played hard. And every time we'd get what I thought was a comfortable advantage, they'd hit a couple buckets, and we'd have a couple of those bad possessions.
Joseph said he texts the freshman every morning. How are you kind of seeing his leadership develop this season?
Well, you know, I think he's trying. You know, it's a full-time job to try to lead, and you know, we've got to give him some help. But no, he's trying. He's trying to get his teammates ready to go. You know, and it's a difficult job because you know it's the first conference game, and you know, only 3 of our guys have played the conference game. You know, and so 6 of the 9 guys who played, you know, never stepped on the floor in conference game. And their eyes will really be wide Thursday night. You know, so we got to keep making adjustments. We got to keep coming along. I think we will. But Joe, you know, Joe did a great job. He was the difference in the game tonight. You know, there's no doubt about it. He had big shots and really made good plays.
Lack of consistency seemed to be the theme after the Irvine game. What did you preach in practice about the guys getting more consistent and how they responded?
Well, you know, we had a bad week of practice. We had everybody banged up. You know, Joe was sick, Dylan was sick. Jaleel had practice. He tried a little bit yesterday, and it was kind of a game time decision to see if he was going to go. Elgin didn't practice a couple days, you know, so I was wanting to have a really hard week, you know, because we played Monday, and thought this would be a great opportunity to get a couple of really hard days in, and they tricked me. didn't want to do that. So we kind of had one of those weeks where we try to go over some special situations and do a lot more mental work, and I want to do a lot more physical work. So our next 2 weeks are going to really be important. We've got school starting Monday, so we won't have quite as much time, but we still got time. And so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we got to really get some work done and get ready for a really well-coached, really talented basketball team.
Did you get the idea with the switch over to conference play that your guys a little bit more important, a little bit more excited, or do you want that, or do you want them to kind of be even keel? You mentioned 6 guys going into conference play for the first time. What did you see from them?
Well, I'm not worried about this bunch getting overexcited. They're pretty low key, so I think that they'll get a little bit more excited as the conference season goes on. They realize what we're up against, but they're kind of a low energy group, and so we got to kind of constantly bark at them a little bit to try to get that energy up. We miss John. We really do. My voice is hoarse. Last year it had been Johnny's voice. We've been after him for me. So we miss him, CJ from the year before. We had some guys who really got that intensity going. So and it's a hard job. don't get me wrong, it's a really hard job to get a team going every day, but Johnny had a real knack for it. So DJ, Garrett, that's a pretty good job.
And you have Arizona next week. They're the Pac-12 favorite. After the first 2 or 3 teams, do you see the Pac-12 being wide open?
I don't really know. I watched last night, kind of for the first time, a lot of the team. And then so focused on trying to get our team. I just haven't had a chance to watch many of the teams play. So last night, we had 3 of them on at 7 o'clock, 3 games. I was flicking back just to see some of them play. And I don't know. Utah's really been impressive. Colorado's still got a lot of vets, and they're still really good at home, so they're going to be right there. Stanford's still got a lot of guys back from the Sweet 16 team. Cal, I thought, looked really good last night. Washington's been impressive. So I don't know where we stack up. We're going to find out here in the next couple of weeks. But to stack up the way I hope, we've got a lot of work to do and a lot of progress.
Going into Go ahead.
You mentioned that after watching the Rose Bowl that you really liked that intensity and that high speed that Oregon had on the football field, and you wanted to bring that over to the basketball court. Do you think that your team is able to do that today?
Well, we always have. I think we're still leading the league in scoring. So we've always tried to play pretty fast. We're not playing fast enough for the makeup of our team. We're not real big. We've got to play fast. I think we got some guys that can run, but I liked our first basket. They pressed us a little bit. We kicked it down. Joe's got a wide open 3. We take it. We had 3 guys going to boards, and we looked like we knew what we were doing. And then we had a number of other possessions where we had a chance to push it, and we just didn't do it. So we've got to get a lot more discipline in our grade. But I think we can learn a tremendous amount from our football team. Their emphasis on team, their execution, pace of play, making plays for each other. It's really special to watch. We can learn something.
You said going into Brooklyn you weren't sure if your team was ready for that caliber of a team. Do you think you're better prepared now for a team like Arizona after that?
We're better prepared, but I told the guys we've got to make more progress. Again, going back to those bad possessions. Good teams just don't have those bad possessions, and we can eliminate them.
Right.
We got to get more focused, mentally tougher, physically tougher. We can eliminate them, but we haven't, and so that's our challenge. As coaches and them as players, and I'll show them on film the possessions I'm talking about, and we can start moving this direction with a lot of those possessions, and I think we can. But right now, we haven't. We're through 14 games. I'd like to be a little further along.
Coach Michael Chandler gave you some decent minutes tonight. How much do you think he's going to be able to help you going forward this season?
You got to get in shape. He hasn't been able to practice all the time. He's got to push himself. Jordan played so well. I wasn't going to take Jordan off unless I had to tonight. He had a good ball game. But Michael can help us. I agree with you totally. But he's got a lot of work to do on his condition. And I think that's pretty obvious when you watch him play. And he can't. He's a good athlete. He's been out for a long time. That knee's been bothering him since February. And we got it fixed. And he still has never gone through a full practice. Here it's January 3rd, and he is still not going through a full practice. So pretty hard to get yourself in shape, until you're able to go and push through a full practice.
You feel like you're close to finding a starting lineup that works for this team?
No, I don't know. We'll keep messing with it. It's not that big a deal. I'm more concerned about who finishes than starts. Now the guys like it because they like that name, run out, and jump around, and be foolish. But I don't care who starts. I care who finishes. And that's what they ought to care about.
Going back to the makeup of your team, Joe and Elgin had 15 of you guys, 23 field goals tonight. Is that something you addressed at all? Are you comfortable with them handling that? What sort of those conference games?
Well, you'd hope that your experience a conference game pays off. You know, I thought early in the game we did Joe enough shots, and but he found some openings in the second half.
All right.